we got to go back. We had this, I can't spell start, but that's how you know that it's real. Sit, start, or cut. We did it with the SEC coaches. It seemed a little bit easier. This one, I think it's harder. Like, some may say start Ryan Day, but I don't know. Like, I have a reason to start all these guys, and then I have like that personal persona of them that how I feel about them on a personal side, and that's also playing a factor to this. This is a fun one. I'm not going to go first though. Ty, you're up.
Well, listen, this is the two that are tough for me. I'm cutting James Franklin. Let's just get that out of the way.
Okay.
To me, he's a very overrated coach. They
Wow.
never have a good offense in Penn State. They're never that good. Like, Tyler Warren for them did everything last year. He's now gone. I don't know who's going to do anything besides Singleton and Katron Allen. That's the only two guys they have. All they can do is run the ball. They can't throw the ball. Everybody thinks that Drew Aller's all this, but I'm not in anything with him. I think he's very overrated. But if I go the other way, I think I'm gonna sit Ryan Day, even though he won a national title. He's had things that have gone. He doesn't beat Michigan. He doesn't like to do. He doesn't do the things that they want you to do. And they win a national title. That's cool. But Lanning's got this little swagger to him that I like. The video of him jumping into the pool earlier in the year. Like, I like how he connects with his guys. Like,
Hey, hold on, real quick. You know how well he connected? That guy committed to Texas today. Continue.
Yeah. Not a good look. Not a good look, bud.
Well, listen, at least he does show some connection with the guys. Like, even though he went to Texas, like, who cares? Like, they had a good video with it. It was cool. And on top of that, like, Oregon's a great football team. Lanning has turned that team is a powerhouse program. Like, they were number 1 seed last year. I mean, they ended up losing to Ryan Day, but Ryan Day had the most talented team in the country. Of course they lost. Ryan Day's always gifted the most talented team in the country most of the time, and he hardly ever wins. So, he'll sit there and sit on the bench with me. I'll take Lanning. I'll cut Franklin just because I think he's super overrated. So that's going to be me. I'm going to go Lanning, Day, Franklin.
Look, I feel like there's no right answer here. I feel like there could be a really
there's a right answer.
Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Well, here's the real right answer. Okay. You go with the guy that just won a national freaking championship and is absolutely loaded. Me and Shelton could be the co-head coaches for Ohio State. It's going to freaking recruit itself, okay? I mean, it's Ohio State, the Ohio State. I know Derek the Duck's going to be sad. I'm going to have to sit Dan Lanning. I love Dan Lanning. I think he's building a powerhouse. But when it gets tough, them Buckeyes shot them Ducks out of the water last year in game 2. And minus Jesus and the disciples coming down when Ohio State was hot, nobody was beating them in college football. Nobody. We all know who we're cutting. And sorry, it's Penn State. You guys got to get a relevant offense.
The fire just deflated from the young guy. I mean, look, I hate Ryan Day. Love Dan Lanning. How I looked at this challenge is like, look, you're saying Ohio State. I'm taking Ryan Day to come coach my build a team. Like, that's how I'm looking at who do I want to come coach my build a team, not the team they currently have. Right? So let's not take who they currently have into consideration.
Is he bringing his staff with them?
Yeah, I'll take the staff. I'll take this. He can bring the staff.
He's getting the best He's getting the best wide receiver coach in the world.
Yeah, he can. Well, it's OC now, but yes, he can bring his staff. Yeah, but not the team though. And I think that's where my decision started to come in a little bit. Okay. It's hard. Listen, I hate Franklin, but I feel like that guy's done a lot with a little. If you look at the fact that he's in this conversation with these two guys and what Penn State has had, and it's not like they're over here just putting their crumbs together, okay? But in comparison to Ohio State and Oregon, it's crumbs. I mean, they're barely cracking top 10 classes. Now, they went out there and did some things this past year, but look, I love to hate on James Franklin too, but by golly, he impressed the hell out of me last year. Kind of put me into a little bit of a blender. It's tough. In a weird way, I don't want to be wrong. I hate being wrong here, and I feel like Ryan Day does seem like it's the right answer. But let's be honest. Let me finish, Cody. You had your rant. Don't even zip it. Close the mouth. Before they played Tennessee, Ryan Day was gone. Ryan Day was out of there. James Franklin was nowhere to be gone. Dan Lanning was getting an extension. Ryan Day was gone up into the last 3 games. And how much can we maybe put? He had Chip Kelly there, who's been around the block a handful of times, turned some shit around, and he had a ton of talent. With those reasons, I'm cutting Ryan Day. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm cutting Ryan Day.
Damn, the cut, Ryan Day.
I'm
the
starting. Let
reigning
me go.
national
Let me
champion.
go. And then you can cut me off. I'm starting. I can't, for the love of me, I can't start James Franklin. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So I got to start Dan Lanning because I love the swagger. I love what he's doing. I think that he has a great predecessor, or he grew up in a great era with under Kirby, of course. And I think that he understands culture. I think he can come in and impact guys right away. And what he's done in the portal, what he's done in recruiting, I think he understands the game. He's got the players coach, he's got the edge, and he's got the ability to call big-time games. He got beat by literally the best team in the country that was by far the best team without even a chance, and still gave them a battle. Like, was the only team that really kind of threw anything at them last year. So that's why I love Dan, because I think that he's done a great job and can coach this team to another successful year. James has had a great team for a couple years. Again, I still think with less, but I kind of like that he's, in a way, grinded it out more so than Ryan. And now that he's added the new defensive coordinator, because I'm bringing the staff with me, I think a switch might have flipped. Now you can yell, Cody.
I just when you're bringing the staff, you're getting the best staff, one of the best staffs in the country. Yeah, Ryan Day has his flaws, but you know what? He's not selfishly calling plays when he's not a play caller. He's not trying to run the defense.
I disagree. I think that he probably had a hand in it more than we think.
Yeah, but he goes.
I think
and
that's why
hires
Chip left.
Around. He goes and hires. Okay, Chip left, but
You don't promote.
look who
He
you're
promoted
getting.
Brian Hartline. I promise you, Brian Hartline's not getting the full reins. I promise you. Look. Here's my thing. I've convinced myself the fact that this man literally would have lost a job if he would have lost one more game last year, which would have been a playoff game, which would have still been a hell of a feat. He is gone. Michigan made T-shirts when he won because they were keeping him. They were excited. They kept Ryan Day.
Can I ask you this? Only at Ohio State is that a problem. Only at Ohio State.
On my
he's at
Friday
Florida-
show, people were saying that Brian Kelly has been mediocre. The guy's gone 10-4, 9-3, 10-4. But in LSU standard, that's
everybody doesn't like. They don't like Brian Kelly.
I know,
The
but he's not
problem
like
is that-
he said he's an average. I'm gonna say average.
But here's the thing. Ohio State is different. It's a pressure cooker. It's a lot like
I
Florida.
get it. I understand.
think Florida has moved the goalpost a little bit in some aspects of winning to put up with some stuff.
Sure.
I'm gonna say this: losing to one team a year is not the win all be all.
There's one team you can't lose to, Cody.
I get it, but we
Now look,
losing
that game though decided Big Ten championship. That game decided whether you made a playoff. So before this year, they wouldn't have been. If the playoffs weren't 12 teams, he's not playing in anything. He's playing in a useless bowl game, and he is legitimately on the hot seat. So it's not just one game. That game, because the schedule was so weak, was the deciding factor of whether or not you continue to play your season at a relative state. So it wasn't just one game. That game carried all the value.
Listen, Ryan Day is gifted the most talented team every single year. He should never he won one national title. He hasn't beat Michigan. Michigan wasn't even that good this year. They were terrible. They didn't have a quarterback.
He lost to Michigan.
I know, it's what I said. They haven't been.
And all of a sudden they realize, we have the best team. We have Chip Kelly, who's been to a national championship, who's had one of the most high-octane offenses of all time. And we also have the best player in college football, Jeremiah Smith, alongside Jack Soren, some of the best running backs in college football.
It was weird that they tried to go power I the entire time. They tried to run it down Michigan's throat. It was very odd play calling. I get you that. But the guy's a winner. Look at his overall record.
Shut up.
He's won.
Shut up.
He's won.
Who can't win with that roster?
Yeah, a winner at Ohio State when you're playing Northwestern and Purdue and Rutgers 4 times a year.
I understand.
What are you talking about?
I understand.
This was the first year the conference really kind of got some blood in it. And what happened? They lost.
They beat the Ducks when it mattered.
Second time through, yes, with the most talent on the football team. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with those things. But again, if you're not in 12-team playoff, and you got to think of how this game is wired, right? And how these guys are wired. This was the first year of that. Oregon did what they were supposed to do because in years past you had to win that game because Ohio State
I agree.
blew it. If in every year up until last year, and again you could say, well, it doesn't matter. I get it. He won one. I'm not saying any of those things, but in the sense of this argument, the guy, the way the structure was benefited Ryan Day. Ryan Day didn't take advantage and didn't seize the moment. He backed into it.
He would have got fired this year.
Where
Let's call it
James
straight.
Franklin seized it. James Franklin literally seized it when he had to get himself in the Big Ten championship to solidify himself in the playoffs when he would have been out of it if he would have lost.
Penn State's just happy to make it to the show. Ohio State, they're expected to make it to the show.
That's different.
That's what I'm saying. That's the
You're
difference.
arguing fan bases and you're arguing coaches. That's two different things. I think I beat you here, Cody.
I'm just saying the levels. There's levels of this thing, and it's a big difference. You are right. In past, the Oregon loss, the Michigan loss, he would have been fired.
He was gone.
Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah, he would have been fired.
James has not been on the hot seat, and neither is Dan.
But now it's going to a more pro NFL mold, and his team peaked and was the best team in college football down the stretch. I agree. 3 weeks.
Listen, I'm not taking any of that away from you. 100%. You had you spent the most money in NIL. You were the Dodgers of college football. You best damn well be dialed in. Okay? Yeah, you better. It makes up for your lack of incompetency. Baby. Okay? For sure. And finally, you were able to overcome your incompetency, and you had the best team in college football, and it worked out. Look, this is a perfect transition. I mean, you really can't script this thing any better than this. It's as if we had a producer. We don't. Just blonde guy here getting it locked and loaded here. But